All right, how's everybody doing? We're getting late in the day. I know people are getting tired. Hopefully it's been worth it for you. We had one question in our group, and I think we would like to crowdsource an answer to, which is, has anybody have experience with a name change? Yeah. How did you handle that on your bio sketch to make sure that it got sort of...
When I have my name in front of my name as Catherine Staten, and then in parentheses I put my name before I was married, because a lot of my manuscripts are in that name also, so that it's in the beginning and it's also at the end. So you'll see my Lynch name was highlighted and bolded, and my Staten name is highlighted and bolded in the manuscript, so you can see it in both places. But I don't address it or state anything or like that. I just put it in parentheses.
Yeah, has anybody else approached it differently? Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about saying, like, or maybe even just saying something at the top of the contributions to science that says, just to make sure, but yeah, that sounds just as easy. And have you noticed that that's an issue or that somebody isn't realizing it?
No. Actually, when I applied for my K, all of my work was in another name, and no one said it, anything. I just got married.
Yeah, and I think what they notice is the bold name. Right.
Yes, exactly.
They go through and they go, oh, look, there's all these bolds are on the first author or on the last author or whatever.
Agreed.
There is a little bit of that counting. How many first, how many last author publications? That's true in academia no matter where you go. Some people pay more attention to that than others, but there is a little bit of just counting. All right, let's, any other sort of general concepts that came up in bio sketches? Were there any themes? Something somebody learned that was like shocking you?
I just wanted to add for mentoring, because there is some specific components for mentoring. So if you're helping your mentors with your bio sketches, usually identifying where the mentees are within the author lists are helpful for identifying how many mentees this person has dealt with, and freely giving away authorship spots, I think, is a beneficial thing, especially in mentoring relationships. So I either underline or put an asterisk next to any of the mentors on any of the publications.
Yeah, so there's a little bit like, I don't know if I showed you in our groups, but trying to link mentors and sort of seeing mentees in the publication list by designating them differently, an underline, an asterisk. I think on mine, I used it to show collaborators. And so I'm bold, and all the collaborators were underlined. So you could see that we had published together, but I think the same could be done for mentor-mentee relationships, where maybe it's on a different topic, but you can see that they have sort of co-published and they've worked together on those things and sort of demonstrating that relationship and sort of showing that they sort of have a history of working with mentees as well. Did I get that right? Yeah, that's a really good one. You can do a lot of things with bolding and highlighting to sort of like bring your eye to those. Other themes?
We had a question in the contribution to science. Can you cite the patents that you can have for the device that you...
Absolutely. Patents are very much a scholarly product on that list of things, and I've done that as well. Patents sort of come in two flavors, right? Like I've submitted a patent application. It takes a long time to get to fully on issued, but even if it's in process, you can put that there because it's available. You can see it on the patent website. So even if it hasn't been fully issued, it's still being processed, you can put it up there. Because it's essentially a public, I mean, you can go and read them, right, once they're in that space. Other questions? Thoughts? Mentors, were there any themes that you wanted to bring up? I saw a lot of evolution of BioSketch. Like, it seemed like people are like editing as we go, which is super fun, right? That's what a workshop is for. So, excited to see. All right. Oh, go ahead.
I have a few of the people in my group asked about, removing contributions to science that they felt were not relevant to the primary purpose of the grant. I'll be very honest. Personally, I usually leave contributions to science somewhat static. I mean, I'll change the terms and spend the bulk of my time editing the personal statement, and I do leave scholarly activity that's not directly related. But I had quite a few people who were removing that.
I leave a lot of mine, mostly because I have never had an issue with the page length. It's not been, so I don't know that I do that. I put them in order of most relevance so that sort of get to the end of it and they're sort of like, yeah, okay, this person does stuff. We had actually a little bit of a conversation about a biosketch that was that was as a co-investigator for a project that was very basic science, and this person had a lot of experience with diversity, equity, and inclusion as part of their work, and said, I just didn't think it was very relevant, and they wouldn't do anything. And that's probably true for the science of it, but like the NSF has sort of strong priorities and mission in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and in particular women in STEM. They've got a whole program around that, and so you may not be in the mission of the project, but you may be in the mission of the funder sometimes in those sort of spaces that I think you may not realize. So I think keeping those would not be bad in that particular instance. So I think thinking very broadly about it is not a problem. Does anybody feel strongly or have other thoughts about less relevant contributions to science? I don't think it hurts to have them. I think if you're space limited, certainly. I think that since they went to the 5 pages back, it used to be 4. When it was 4 pages, I think people struggled more. And used to have a lot longer, like the section D added length to it, and so you ran out of space. I don't think that's his issue anymore. Other things? All right, well, I hope this was useful for everybody. I personally like this workshop style. It's morphed a little bit from when I did it, but I think the concept of having everybody work on their own documents has been super good improvement to this workshop, making it a true workshop rather than me lecturing or anybody else lecturing at people. So I'm going to stop talking now.